It's time to talk about Little Brother. May the Lord watch.
Yes,
A
sir.
great project. Who want to start this off, B? Me or you?
I can talk about it.
All right, you can start this off. Go ahead, B.
Man, this brings me back to 2009 when I was working in that meat room. You know what I
You
mean?
mean 2019?
That was 2019?
You said
I said
2009.
09, my bad. 2009 when I was in that meat room. I used to be the meat man out there, you know what I'm saying? Supplying all the meat. But I remember, this album was announced. I was hyped, you know what I'm saying? Really wish that Night Wonder would have been a part of it. And I know they tried to work and do that together, but it didn't come out. It didn't go the way they wanted to go. But this album right here, bro, real grown man raps. I've been listening to it. Bro, this album is something I listen to. Like, it's always, since it came out, it haven't been a year I didn't play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think I ever went a year without playing this album. Like, it felt like the continuation of Minstrel's show in a way, but, a little more adult, you know what I mean? And just, hey, we grown here, and I just like the little skits, like, from the past of the project, like the Joe Scudder. Like, every skit just meshed so well, and I love the subject matter of things they were talking about, being like how they older and like they don't fit in the club no more, and like wanting to be out, and just even just hip hop and just love and all this type of stuff. Man, it was just such great content. Just Fonte is just so talented. Big Pooh as well, just rapping, and just Fonte is he's hilarious when it comes to his writing with these skits, bro. I love these skits so much, bro. Especially when the Diana Fix My Life. Man, I can't believe you got me on this show. These bootleg ass counselors, bro. That gets me all the time. I'm you up.
What about the one with him and Questlove?
Oh yeah, we talking about.
You Leroy Joe? Nah, I'm Leroy.
He said, I've been firing Leroy. What's his name? Leroy one.
Yeah.
He said, nah, 700 niggas got it for me. I'm Leroy 8. That was just so funny, bro. And I know they had to do that skit while they was doing the podcast. They did the podcast together. Questlove Supreme, and like, bro, just this album just still so good. Production's really well, bro. It just flows perfectly. I've never played just one song. I just played a freaking album. And then Peter Rosenberg being kind of cool on there, like being like the president of UPN or whatever. Like the Joe Scudder skit and then Fonte Secret at the end.
It's so good to be a white man again.
Life after blackface. Cause it's so crazy how Joe Scudder's in blackface on like this show. I wake up every morning holding my like it's just so crazy how they did this, bro. Like they are so genius. But at the same time, even in those albums, the listening, Minstrel Show, they still was younger, but they still felt mature. You know what I'm saying? It's just so crazy. And
they had a good sense of humor, is what I'll say. It's a nice balance.
Yes,
it didn't feel too kiddie, too immature. And that's one of my takes I was going to say about this album is that it's not the fact that it's more mature, it's that they've grown older and they've grown with it.
Yeah, because like Fonte actually does like comedy work. Like when it comes to, what was the name? Sherman Show. He does stuff. He used to do a little comedy skit with them. They was like, it's a skit. It's a comedy sketch show. And I remember he used to be on that and stuff. Like, bro, it's just hilarious, bro. It's just so funny. And I was just, bro, I kept replaying skits. Like, niggas hollering. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know she ain't finna say Michael Jordan. Like, he's like, man, Bill Russell, he beat racism and the Lakers at the same time. Like, it's just the stuff they have, bro. Like these skits and then the rapping ability as well. I just love this album, bro. Like, it's like, man, like when it comes to their albums, like they mixtapes still dope, but like they albums is just, to me, are just the listening, Minstrel Show, and this one right here, these three are like
perfect.
My ones, bro. Like I could just play them, even though listening still like I don't know why it's my favorite. I could say the Minstrel Show is probably better than the listening, but the listening is just. But this album right here, it just got me excited. Listen to it, like, bro, I know y'all got to put something else out. Because the last two singles y'all dropped last year.
Wish Me Well and Glory?
Bro, and if they continue, like, getting production from a conductor or somebody, and, like, even the people they work with now, like, it's just, I don't know, they just sound so good on beats, man. This type of hip-hop is just what I love. And I'm not even their age yet, but, like, even when I was younger, like, even when this came out, I was, like 24, 25. And I was just like, these grown man raps, you know what I'm saying? It just still felt like, man, it just felt, I don't know, bro. I love Little Brother, man. I remember when I found out about them, like, I was like in awe of like Little Brother. And I love this group. They just so underappreciated, man. And I just wish y'all got all y'all like
flowers,
bro.
just do.
Man, they like the dead in hip hop of like
facts.
Rapping, bro.
This is actually kind of facts.
Yes,
no, this is
bro.
facts.
Like,
the overlooked ones.
Yes, and like even though they both have really phenomenal careers outside of Little Brother, even with Little Brother as well, they still successful like in their own right as individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like Pooh does his management thing, and freaking Fontaine his podcasting, his foreign exchange stuff, which he also had a anniversary for that came up as well for the first album. I don't know, man. Like this album, bro, it's just really good. It's not too long. It's 36 minutes, straight to the point. They got all their thoughts out at that time, like how it just felt like, hey, this stuff we wanted to get off our chest. Really good album. What about you, B?
So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a rundown since this is the first time Little Brother has really entered, the dungeon of the BBC itself. And so my thing is this: I have never heard of Little Brother before this man last year. And last year, I was kind of getting back into hip hop because I just wanted to listen to some more albums and kind of get a bit more knowledgeable, kind of like what I do with What We've Been Jamming. But I was doing this before we started doing the podcast. And, I was showing him some underground hip hop projects I was listening to because Spotify had a section of like underground classics or whatever. And so, I was showing you stuff I was listening to. You would recommend me some stuff. And, you would kind of like test the waters to see what I would like. And so I remember this man sent me Minstrel Show. And I said, what the F is this? I said, yo, what am I looking at? I saw the title. I saw the cover. I was like, what are we doing right here?
That cover is iconic.
Because this is right before this, he recommended me Slum Village.
Yes. Bro, I think I was walking in the park. I was back at home in Hempstead when I sent you that stuff.
Oh, man. And so, I went to this. He was like, I'm going to see if you really like backpacker rap or something like that. And so he sent me that. And I'm like, what the F is this? And so I didn't know. I knew it was a group, but I didn't know how many people it was and who exactly it was. I just saw 3 people on the cover. And so I went to listen to Minstrel Show. And I was like, oh, this is phenomenal. Yes. I'm like, this is it right here. And so I just started going through the whole catalog. But you told me the certain ones, like the Listening and Made the Lord Watch was the last one. I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and listen to the Lord's Watch. I skipped through their discography. I went to that. No, I went to the Minstrel Show. Then I went to Listening. And then I went to Made the Lord Watch. And, I went back and obviously listened to their whole discography in general. And going to Made the Lord Watch, I'm just like, and like I said, I went from their first 2 albums. Then I went to that. And I'm like, like, things are different. And this album came out 2019, so obviously I didn't know about this because, like I said, last year in 2023 is when I first heard this album itself. And so for me to hear it in like I said, 2023,
4 years later.
This album is phenomenal. This is amazing right here. And to still, I come back to this album regularly. That Minstrel Show and some of the Listening. I come back to this regularly. Like, whenever this comes up in my Spotify, like, recommended playlist or whatever, I'm listening to whatever song I put in there because this is fire.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to this project right here, it's so mature.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to say super introspective to where they're getting really deep into it, but they're very self-aware is what I would like to say. Because it's like, yo, I'm posting something on Instagram, I'm hoping for a few likes, even though I'm in the bed right now. Or it's all, whenever I post on Instagram, it's all lies like Fyre Fest and things like that. Some of the references that they actually make to modern day pop culture itself is funny. The production itself is amazing. Yes, like the beats that they produced, because they said that they literally picked a certain amount of beats and they have nothing left over from this album. And I'm like, this feels like it. It feels like you got everything out because the actual subject matter, the lyricism that you guys are displaying, the back and forth that y'all have, and the fact that you guys just feel so different from each other, but both add and bring something to this album itself. It was just so good. The synergy itself. Yeah. It feels like they never missed a beat. Especially, doing my own deep digging and diving and seeing the big old hiatus they had. I'm like, I'm like, what are we doing here? When I went to that album, I'm like, and what, Minstrel Show came out, 2004? Yeah. I'm like, this album came out 2019. I'm like, 15 years later? Do they still got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were still rapping with their other stuff, too.
Yeah. But, I wasn't in tune with that stuff. And so...
Also, but when you said that bringing that like 2 different perspectives, like I like them on Sitting Alone, and he just talk about like Fontaine was just talking about like he'd rather be at home watching Flip or Flop. And I'm like, hey, that's so me. Like all I do, I like watching freaking what's that called, the HGTV, bro. I watch that stuff all day.
Well, stuff like not reality shows, but like stuff like we're gonna build this house up.
Yeah, real estate, all that stuff. Yeah, like buys. Yeah, I was like, yo, that's me.
There was just some stuff on here like, and there was one moment on here where Pooh was like, obviously they wasn't as successful in terms of like monetary gain from that album. He was like, I'm doing Uber pickups to do whatever I got to do. Pushing, drugs. He was like, people don't recognize me, so it's a bittersweet moment. Yeah. So it's like, oh, people don't run into you like, oh, you was Big Pooh, what happened? Versus, like, dang, like people don't really recognize me. Like, they don't really know, like, not necessarily what all I've done, but it's like, dang, like, my career, was it not as impactful? That scared me.
It scared me too. I was like, what the hell happened?
But just certain moments like that on that album. And then, I gotta say this right now. Fonte on some of these hooks, man. Yeah. Just give me what I came for.
Bro, why I always thought that was Anderson .Paak?
It sounds like it. I can see
always
why it
like, bro, if I like
to me, it doesn't have a scratchy like voice.
Yeah, I always thought it was Fonte. I mean, Anderson .Paak, and then I was like, man, that's Fonte.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, my bad.
Some of the hooks, just the beginning of the album with them actually still bringing back the skits from Minstrel Show. Weeknights at 11. Just the intro of the actual album, the way that they come in and attack that beat, I'm like, oh my gosh. I know a lot of people are gonna say, like, when it comes to certain duos and groups, there's always gonna be the one standout.
Yeah.
Big Pooh ain't no slouch on this album, though. He is rapping his butt off. To me, they are right there for me. I'm like, oh my god.
They be going, bro.
Songs like Black Magic.
Oh bro, Black Magic. You can get the cat out. Like Black Magic is like probably my favorite song.
Yeah, that's.
Like I listen to it today, like, because I always go back and forth from like Black Magic. I don't know. I love Sitting Alone, and I love the one when he sound like Anderson .Paak.
Just give me what I came for.
Just give me what I came for. Like I love that as the vibey track. But when it comes to like Black Magic, man, because it gives me that vibe of Glory and all that, bro. It's like, oh my god.
And to me, like these don't like. To me, this is almost like a timeless album.
Yeah,
because it don't sound like it fits into any type of production
it could come
style
out this year
of the era.
and still be fire.
It still be phenomenal.
It still be fire.
Fuego.
Even though it's just 5 years away, ago, but it's like
we're 5 years removed. Especially I think the only things that would date it is the references, like the Firefest thing, because it was hot at that time.
Yeah.
But besides that itself, everything really works out, and this is timeless music. Yeah. Like this is, to me, I would stamp this as like timeless music because I'm just glad they didn't really chase any trends or chase any sounds on this album.
This that adult contemporary hip hop.
Yes. Oh yes. To me, this is like a huge album in that sector for me. I love this album, man. This album was phenomenal. It's great. It doesn't run overstay its welcome. Yeah. The rapping performances, the hooks, the production. No features, which I'm kind of glad that there's no features. Yeah. The only features we have is the skits, and the skits are hilarious. It makes me miss skits, but also you gotta do the skits right.
Yeah.
Don't put the skits in your album if they're not gonna be done right. This is hilarious.
This is great writing. They did the skits. They not grabbing some other people's skits. Like they actually did these skits, and it's just so funny because like it also referenced like how them being at home. And like TV shows they watching like Ivana Fix My Life or listen to podcasts, people just talking about, you think about it like what people be on podcasts now, just yelling and talking about different subjects. So it's like them having that, about podcasting. It just all kind of was like a cultural reference of what's going on in their lives and actually what's going on in the world. And I just love and then also them, killing off like Percy Miracle, whatever. And like that being like, oh, them bringing it back in this little brother's concert, pretty much.
Do you feel like Percy Miracle was like, I guess like them killing it off was like a stamp of like them saying like this isn't going to be like
this
this is something different. It's like a new chapter.
That's what I think it was.
And then I love the fact that Rosenberg was on there. Yeah. He was like, oh yeah, Percy Miracle died. Selling tickets at so and so. They popped it off his death. I'm like,
bro, that's just how it is. Like, and then at the end, he just like he happy he dead or whatever. He tried to eat on his wife. He
he owed me some money.
Yeah, bro.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah. No, bro, like. I love this album, bro.
Yeah.
I listened to it today. Tell me why, like this album's so good. Like when I know an album good, I rerun these tracks back. Like I run it back, like now let me hit it again. Or like I go back to the skit and let's let it roll through. I'm like, I kept doing it, just laughing out loud. The Roy Lee skit always gets.
Oh yeah, bro. That one with Questlove.
I'm Roy Lee 8. That's just so funny. I'm Roy Lee 8.
And then them actually laughing in the studio. Like they like, yeah, we gonna put that in there.
That's so funny.
I love it, man. There's nothing for me to really criticize badly about this album. Like It's great.
I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I just can't. It's nothing I can say like, I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna. I love this album.
Oh, I can't wait for us to do a minstrel show review
man.
and a listening review.
Man.
But honestly, for me, this project is amazing. I love it. Shoot, without you, I wouldn't have heard it. Lil Brother is one of my favorite hip hop duos of all time.
Yes, bro.
They're easily top 5. Easily top 3.
Yeah.
I just don't know why I'm putting them in that 3 though.
Hey, bro, and they from the South too.
Exactly.
So
hey, check out our first episode, best Southern hip hop albums of all time. They made both of our lists for the Minstrel Show.
Yes.
So yeah, this right here, hard. Lil Brother does not get the flowers that they deserve. Phonte kind of fathering Drake style too. I'm just saying, man. There's a reason why I love Phonte so much and Drake so much. Yeah. I'm just saying. Man. And look. That documentary they put out,
so great.
Phenomenal.
So
I wish Ninth Wonder was there. I know he denied it, but I am very respectful of them really wanting to work together with Ninth on the documentary and this album. And Big Pooh and him, they probably they're not really as cool. They're probably cordial at this point. And, they basically was making an agreement like, yo, we got to agree on the beats that we both like. And so I really do like the fact of how they went about this album, them actually refostering their friendship, sadly, after
Fife Dog
dying.
R.I.P. Fife.
Yeah. But honestly, man, this is a great product. Check out their documentary if you guys haven't. Really it is on YouTube. Very, very good documentary itself.
Really good. I love the animations they did in there.
Yeah, I do
too.
Bro. Damn, I just
and really they worked with Yo. I don't know if you familiar with Yo. He used to be on. Yeah, he used to be on there sometimes. He's from Atlanta. He's a journalist. I really like his writing. He actually used to have a really good podcast as well called South Have Something to Say. It's called Something to Say. It was I forgot the other two names. But yeah, I used to rock with their podcast heavy. They got really into Southern rap, bro. They used to break down Southern albums and stuff. Like, yeah. I might have to send it to you. They just don't make stuff no more.
That was disappointing. Hey, don't worry, we're carrying on the legacy.
Hey man, it's called South Have Something to Say. I'm like, damn, that's a good name. I was like, damn, that's a good name.
I know. But overall, for me, I feel like this should get the BBC approval.
Oh no, yes.
A thumbs up from both of us. This is a recommended project. I love this. And you guys know I'm not a lyrical spiritual miracle dude.
Because like they keep it like they're not over.
They're not heady.
They still really crazy with wordplay. That's like dang, and like Phonte can say things you just like I never thought it like that. You just said it's so simple. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. They just really good rappers, bro. Yeah. And when it comes to their work, especially this, they took their time. I could tell they took their time with it, and they wanted to be in a good headspace, and they wanted because they wasn't merging in their last, in their final years.
Yeah, you could kind of feel that.
Yeah, they was distant. They even said it like they wasn't even hanging out with each other. Like, they had separate groups around all this stuff. So it's just it happens throughout the time, especially with growth.
But also, they didn't really know each other before they got all that fame with Lil Brother. So yeah, it was bound to happen. But hey, I'm glad that they're on good footing now. I cannot wait for a new project to come out. Hopefully, this is the 5-year anniversary of May the Lord Watch. And I'm going to get into a little rant later on in this episode of how you podcast, you hip-hop pages on Twitter, y'all don't be supporting real hip-hop when it comes to it. Y'all want to give these anniversaries to this funky old jig 2 years out, but you don't want to give it to the legends. No, this is crazy, B. I'm sorry, but I'm going to get into my rant later. But just know that this is some real hip-hop, and if you guys haven't listened to it, you guys like adult contemporary music, like Nas's King Disease series, Commons, The Auditorium, this stuff will fit right in line with that aesthetic of contemporary adult hip hop. Yeah. This is it right here.
Yeah, for real.
Man, Ninth, I really wish you could have been a part of this, man. But I understand and I respect both sides of the situation itself.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that's about it for May the Lord Watch. Make sure you check out the album and the documentary.
10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, for me. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Man.
10 out of 10. Easy.
Great album.
I'm not even questioning that.
Great album.
Very.